Hey all my fellow and soon-to-be maniacs out there, this is the Chainsaw Maniac, your favorite webcomic maker and animator, and today we're going to be talking about something that's been going around not only in this few months, because I know these few months are the busiest months in the year, you know, around the middle of the year. For most people, I'm not sure for everyone, but usually this is the busiest times of the year for me, and this relates to our topic today, and yes, I'm talking about burnout. Now before I hop into the rest of the video, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you enjoy the content I do and would like to see more. Also, don't forget to ring that notification bell if you want to be notified of any other thing I do on this channel. And if you feel this video was helpful and it can be helpful for others, I suggest you share it with them as well. So burnout usually happens when you are working on something and you have expressed all you can express within your given time frame that you have for the day, because everyone's time frame and how much they can actually apply to their work is different to everyone. Some people can only work from certain times to another time. Some people are more, you know, active at the specific time, and so on and so on. There's many different variables, many different elements that will kind of factor into many different people's workflows. For example, I can basically go all day. I work from morning till night, straight through until around about, like, if I'm starting out early, because I am a professional animator, so I've been working, you know, 9 to 5 basically every day, except the weekends, of course. So just during the weekdays usually, so from Monday to Friday, I'm working from 9 to 5 with breaks in between. So from 5 to 10 to 11, like, that's usually where I work on whatever the hell I want to work on. And usually it has to do with comics and personal animation projects that I do within my spare time, and as well as promoting myself on social medias and doing all sorts of challenges and stuff. And it can get quite tiring and lead to burnout. There is a set amount of hours you can specifically work in a day, but some people, you know, push themselves a bit too far and they work through the burnout, and then it just ends up being like taking a whole month of art or something like that, you know. It can lead to that if you push yourself way too far. Luckily for me, I take nice small breaks in between, and that kind of helps me out. But we'll talk more about that as we go through the video, and I'll go through like certain steps or maybe different methods you can use to kind of deal with burnout, because I know there's a lot of that going around right now, especially with the Webtoon contest out there. Most of my creative friends online have talked about like them burning out and they're not sure if they're gonna finish the entry in time. And you know, you just gotta chill, okay? That's the first thing you gotta do. You just gotta chill, okay? Not the end of the world. There's plenty of other contests to come. If you cannot finish your entry for this contest, it's all good. But I suggest you still put out your entry, even though you can't make it for the contest. It's fine. Put it out there. People can still get a chance to see your work, or you can even keep it for the next contest that comes up. Who knows what the next contest will be? Then you have like a short story up in your pocket that you can just pull out, throw into a contest whenever you need to. And I know for creators, especially just starting out, because of this contest, that they don't know what they're getting themselves into. Like, I'm basically a veteran in the webcomic game at this point. Like, I have been through everything. I remember like when I started my first webcomic, The Merchant of Ignitus. Check it out if you haven't already. And so each episode that you see in that comic was made within a week, okay? So that's 40 to 60 panels within a week. I know the first few episodes are probably like from 25 to 30. You'll see it kind of gradually got more because I got faster at drawing panels. So what I mean by I completed the episode within a week is I would write the actual episode out, like as in plan the episode out, because I usually do a storyboarding system. So I would plan the episode within the week on Monday, like the first day of the week, and then I will draw all the panels out and do all the speech bubbles and everything like that, and I would get it done within that week. Now, for those of you who don't know, some comics take longer, especially if you're doing like 40 to 60 panels. I mean, sometimes it's better to have a bi-weekly schedule, but I thought I could do it weekly, and I could, but it's very draining to do an episode weekly, especially if you have no buffer. And my buffer like went immediately, so like I just had to, you know, buckle down and just get through them. And that's when I came up with the coolest idea ever, to actually take seasonal breaks in between every 25 to 30 episodes. That way I can actually get a nice long hiatus going and, you know, chill it out, as well as get my buffer going again, and then hop on to the next season whenever it comes out, and I will have a buffer and it won't be as stressful, and I will not lose my mind. So when it comes to what do I know about burnout, trust me, I know a lot about burnout. I work in the animation industry. Honestly, if you think you know burnout, work in the animation industry and you will truly find out what burnout is. I mean, I've gotten kind of used to it right now, but in the starting stages, as you can see, my sanity has completely left my side. So I have kind of gone through it. Obviously, the more skill I gain, the more experience I gain, I got better at doing it, got got better at meeting deadlines, got better at scheduling things, got better at planning things, and hence why I am such a beast today, because I know a lot of you see how I work and you've like hung out on streams or you've actually followed my progress and my journey, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can tell that I don't know what drives me, I don't know what keeps me going, but I just go straight for it and I keep going because I enjoy doing it. That's because I've kind of found a way to control my burnout and control, you know, my productive factor in terms of my work. This is a good segue into our first point when talking about burnout, which is take a breath. Okay, so what I mean by take a breath is just drop the pen, just chill out. If you feel like, oh shit, I can't keep going, just drop the pen, you know, take a little breath, realize where you're at, realize what you still have to do, you know, break down your process, analyze how much time you need. You know, this is what taking a breath means. You're just stepping back for a bit, stepping back, drop the pen, make sure you can analyze exactly how far you still need to be, how far you still need to get there, and then recognize like when can you get this done by, when do you think you would get this done by, and how long would it take to finish this objective. Okay, and sometimes just by doing that little action, just that little thing of just dropping a pen for a bit, just taking a little step back, you're not completely stopping, but you're realizing what is to come and how to deal with it. That's what I mean by taking a breath. And this is how I got through a lot of things, because once you take that little breath, like you'll realize, oh okay, I can do this, and you'll build that confidence again to actually get through the next few panels or whatever, and then you will realize kind of what you still need to do for the next few panels. You know, you will go through your script again. What can I take out to make my journey easier? What can I take out here? How can I simplify these? Can I edit this to maybe not be as straining as it is right now? And then you'll kind of get into the flow of editing, and this way you can kind of find a way to work more smarter rather than harder, and then you'll kind of know what to do for the next episode or the next contest or the next entry that you plan on doing. You know, if you continue doing this, you'll see it becomes easier. Doing this, it will kind of be second nature to you. Like you won't even have to take a breath. Your breath will be taken as you're actually drawing, if you know what I mean. Like you will just keep going, and it might work for some people, might work for most people. I'm not sure. It works for me sometimes. I'm not sure if it works for everyone. If that does not work, that will be a good time to step away from whatever you're doing. Okay, step away, and by this I mean actually take a break. Now you can do this in two ways. The way I do it sometimes is I would take a step back from whatever I'm working on and work on something else. Like I would do some fan art, I would maybe work on another challenge, I would maybe, you know, do something more fun and productive as well, you know, so that, you know, so I can still get those artistic reps in, but at the same time I'm working on something now that I feel like I want to work with in the moment, you know what I mean? So I'm stepping away from whatever I'm doing, and sometimes that will even help me to kind of inspire myself as well as motivate myself to kind of finish the rest of the other panels or finish the rest of the other episodes. You know, it will kind of push me again, give me that extra push to finish up what I need to finish up for the day. It's pretty cool to just take that cool break and experiment with these artistic things, and you're not restrained to panel format, you're not restrained to other things that you need for your comics. You can just kind of do whatever you want with this time and maybe learn a few new skills and maybe experiment a bit, you know, go nuts in that moment. You know, this is a good time to actually experiment. It's a good time to actually improve yourself. It's a good time to actually improve your artistic work, as well as just taking a little step back from whatever is bothering you, and this will kind of just help you with that little burnout that you're having from the specific task that you're working on. Just change the task, simple as that. Change the task. The second part of this is maybe you don't want to do that and you just need to take a break. I suggest taking small breaks within the day. Maybe it can be as long as you want, as long as it doesn't hinder your work, and sometimes you just need to take a few days off. That's cool as well, but usually if you force yourself to finish something, that's really when you need to take a week off and a day off, you know. But if there's no immediate deadline that you need to get done and you can afford to take that break, I suggest you take the break immediately. Don't be like, okay, I'm first gonna finish off 12 panels and then I'm gonna take my break. No, take your break and then come back to those 12 panels when you feel like it. If you feel like working those 12 panels after you've taken a little break, then go ahead and do that. But let's say you don't feel like, you know, working on it after that break. Maybe you need to warm up your hand a bit. Maybe you need to do some, you know, figure drawing, or do some, you know, just to warm your mind up. Because sometimes when you take those breaks, you know, after you take your break, you're like, I think I want to take a longer break. You know, there's no harm in taking a longer break. Just be aware of your deadline. And sometimes you just need to doodle a bit. Like sometimes I suggest just sitting down with your your pen and just, doodling a bit, getting into the flow of things. And then once you hit that state of flow, go ham on those panels, man. Just go straight for those panels and iron them out as much as you can and get those reps in for the day. You know what I'm saying? And the next way to kind of deal with burnout, I've done this plenty of times before, which is especially if you have a job, because you can burn out on a job as well. It doesn't matter what the job is. Let's say you're a waiter or what, like you're maybe a cashier or whatever, you can have burnout within your jobs, especially if you're not like into the job, if you don't want to do the job, but you need a job for financial support. You're gonna have a lot of burnout within that job, and usually deal with that burnout is usually to work on what you want to work on. And sometimes you actually have the job that you want. For example, I'm an animator, I love animation, but working on animation from 9 to 5 burns me out from working on animation like later on in the day, you know what I mean? So obviously my fallback is comics. So I work on my comics, I work on whatever else I need to work on, I work on some illustrations, I do my own thing when that bell rings for the end of the day, And the best advice I can give for this specific burnout is push through, okay? And realize that you're gonna get through this, and once you get through this, you'll be able to do whatever the hell you want to do with your time. That's what you have to keep in mind. That's what kind of motivates me when I remember working as a I think I was like a cashier or something, right? Well, I actually like a sales, I worked for Cash Crusaders. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of like a store that sells like secondhand goods, and people can give in their goods as well for cash. So I worked there, and I would burn out easily because you know what happens. There's certain times of the year when you don't get customers, and it can be quite boring just you standing on the floor there waiting for customers to come, and you have nothing to do, and that kind of bores you, and that can burn you out as well. That jobs like that burn you out as well. And what got me through that mental state was keeping in mind that once I'm done here, when I get home, I can do whatever the hell I want. Let's get this over with so I can get home. And that's how I kind of got through that. You'll notice that to get through most of these problems, it's a state of mind. It's like kind of like a mental exercise in a way. And the best way to kind of get through these things is just mentally, not really tricking yourself, but mentally fortifying your mind so you can actually push through or even deal with certain tasks that you do not want to do at the moment, and kind of figuring out smart ways to trick yourself to being productive, as well as motivating yourself to get what you need to get done. You know what I mean? And being 5 years in the animation industry, you pick a lot of this stuff up. The last point I want to make, which is to do with planning and deadlines, because sometimes things doesn't go as planned. Sometimes the deadlines, you just don't meet them, but you always have to keep in mind the deadline as well as how much planning one thing is going to take. And if you plan things very well, those deadlines are just going to be hit every single time. Setting deadlines for yourself as well as milestones will also help. Like I watched this other video, I can't remember the guy's name, and I'll leave a link to this video in the description down below. I think it will really help you guys in terms of how to motivate and keep yourself inspired. A very well-versed artist, like I'm pretty sure sounds like he's been in the industry for quite some time. I think he works with video games and stuff like that. He talked about creating these small little victories for yourself, because it kind of pumps you up. That kind of rush you get when you win something. So it's good to kind of set up little wins for yourself so that you get that endorphin rush and that momentum to kind of push yourself through other tasks as well. And I've been doing this for quite some time without myself noticing, and I think this is one of the best reasons why I finish things as quickly as I do and I get things done as fast as I do. It's because I have these cool little milestones and goals that I kind of run through, and that kind of ignites the momentum to kind of make me go even further, and I complete more tasks, I get more things done, and I just want to keep going, And to give you a good example of this, I kind of have to rattle off exactly what I kind of do in a day. So let's kind of rattle this off. I'm a full-time animator. I work on comics in my spare time, and not just one comic. I work on multiple comic projects, as well as I'm working on a short film in the background, as well as I'm entering into plenty of other contests. And then there's also YouTube, of course, that I'm doing. And I kind of have to keep in mind that all those things are going on at the same time. And within those, specific things that I'm working on, there are small milestones that I put for myself of what I want to accomplish within a day's time. Let's say I'm working on my animation work, which is my job, right? I set milestones for myself, like this is what I want to complete today within this job. Then once I finish them, it will feel like accomplishment because I've set those milestones up. So let's say I'm working on a specific project, and we usually have like a checklist for our projects of assets that we need within in our animations. So let's say we need a hard hat, let's say we need a brick, let's say we need a boot. Each of those, I mark them as individual tasks in my mind. And I say, okay, by the end of today, I want to at least finish this boot. If I have time after lunch, obviously this is just the example, that doesn't really take me that long to model a freaking boot. But let's just say, okay, I want to complete this boot at least by today. Then after lunch, if I have time, I want to complete the helmet. Now I've set 2 little tasks for myself. And once I've completed the boot, I'm like, oh damn, okay, I have time to finish the helmet. Let's finish that helmet off. I finished the helmet off, okay? 5 o'clock hits, I'm done with work. Heading on to my next task, completing a few panels for my comic. And I've always set this goal for myself in terms of comics. And it's good to do the calculations in your mind as well as you're going along. Because 7 days, let's say you finish 3 panels within those 7 days, you have 35 panels. Another 7 days go by, another 35 panels done if you do 3 panels every day. So basically you have a Webtoon's original episode right there within 2 weeks. If you calculate it that way, and this is just calculating like the average, like, because some days you might even finish 10 panels. I've done this at times, and that's not even counting the panels that you can reuse as well. So you got to keep that in mind as well. I set this milestone for myself every day, 3 panels a day for a specific comic. I need to finish this tonight so that when the deadline hits, because I'm planning to do a bi-weekly schedule, within 2 weeks I need to finish, let's say, about 60 panels. I could do over 60 panels within 2 weeks, and that's usually how I plan out my paneling system. And now that milestone will be met, and sometimes I have extra time left over. What do I do in that extra time? I finish some more panels if I'm feeling like it. If you're feeling like it, and this is a good point, if you feel like you can do more and you want to do more, okay, do more, because you have the time. Make sure you do more so that when the next day hits, you have less to do now. For the very least, you're going to finish those 3 panels and you'll be ahead of schedule. And that's kind of how you keep ahead of schedule. You meet these small milestones every day, and once you meet these small milestones every day, everything just flows. You just get that flowing. And then you'll notice that you can even afford to take a few days off if you want to. Maybe you want to go out with your family. Maybe you want to spend time with your friends. You have the time now. Make these small milestones for yourself. So hopefully this video helps you get through the burnout or deal with it in a way that helps you proceed with your deadlines, proceed with your tasks that you need to get done. And hopefully you got something out of this video. This is what I usually try to do. I try to motivate and inspire people to get what they need to get done and help them out with what they need to be helped out with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and this is your second reminder to hit that like and subscribe button. Ring that notification bell if you want to be notified. Also, every Saturday I do live streams, so if you guys want to hang out and just chill for a bit, you want to ask me a few questions about animation, about webcomics, I'm free to do so. I don't mind. And if you have any other questions, there is a comment section down below as well, so you can comment down there and I'll hit you up. I try to answer every single comment made on this channel, so because I haven't hit the big leagues yet, I'm still under 500 subscribers. Please get me to 500 so I can unlock that community tab and we can have some more engagement with you guys. Feel free to check out plenty of other content I have on my channel. I did a cool ass trailer as well for my first entry that is coming out. I'm working on the second entry for this contest, and it will be kicking off the second season of the Merchant of Ignatius, so if you haven't checked it out, I suggest you do. Also on Teleab, I have Pray for Love. It's a little short story that I'm making as well in the background. So if you guys want to support me and give that a read as well, you can go check it out in Teleab as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye now.